Life is poetic, life is poetic, life is poetic, life is poetic. This is my discipline. This is my discipline to myself, is creating this show, creating this form of communication, creating this channel, expressing myself, allowing myself to flow with thought, allowing myself to flow with truth about my experience in life, about my observation, about my reasoning, about the nuances to life. Because life is poetic from the nuances that we speak from. Life is poetic from the nuances that we constantly have to deal with, right? Is it you or is it me? Who is it? Who is it really? Right? Like, is it, where are we living in this whole spectrum of colors? Like, are we in just green all the time? Are we just in blue? I don't want to get too poetic, but life is poetic, right? I am a poet. I am your host, Poeticlee, Poeticlee, Poeticlee. And I want to thank you, Poeticlee. Life is poetic. I'm a poet by heart. I'm a poet by thought. I'm a poet by voice. I'm a poet by action. I am a poet because life is constantly placing me in these moments. Life is constantly placing me in these paths where it's like a riddle at times, right? And if I don't listen to the riddle, if I don't listen to what's the tone and the frequency, the music that's playing to me, I'm a musician, I'm an artist. However, it's not just a task that you do. It's not just something you say, oh, I'm an artist for 8 hours a day. No, it's literally how you move through life. I'm trying to tell you, the person that you in your character development of who you came here to be, to truly be in your human design, in your whole makeup, as the expression to the world, as the co-creator with your life, is the person that you are being, and that the life will form around you. So when you're an architect, you see life in these different geometrical shapes and objects and forms, and how things to create things out of just the most, well, some could say the basic shapes. So these basic shapes end up creating the most complex designs, the most complex structures, right? And it's we need people like that. We need people that can constantly read, that live and breathe through taking basic shapes and making them the complex structures for us to exist through. We need people around that, they're foodies. Yes, you may not necessarily have to cook to be a foodie, right? But you are constantly living the nourishment of life, right? Like, oh, I love to eat this, I love to eat, but you're living this nourishment of how fulfilling life is and how you go after it. So for me, being a poet, life is poetic because it's literally how I speak to the world. You may catch this already, but it's literally how I feel the world out. And understanding nuances, constantly having to see the nuances, constantly having to see the dark and the light, right? That creates this grayness, that creates this ambiguous moments that we go through, that creates this forest, if you will. Because it's really about stepping into the forest of life. Yeah, we want to step into the sea. We want to dive into the seas. Sure, we want to leap into the sky, though. Going into the forest, going into the woods where the trees are, right? The trees are rooted into Mother Nature. This is where the poetry comes in. You gotta flow with me, it just happens naturally. But the trees are rooted into Mother Nature. So when they're all together, it's like people, when we're all together of like kind, we're all together rooted in our purpose. When we're all together rooted in our purpose, do you know how strong that is? Think about that forest, think about that wood area and what it provides to the ecosystem right there. That's why when a forest fire happens, why it spreads, because everybody's so close knit. Everybody's already there. Just everything in that ecosystem, when you really think about the ecosystem, the trees are rooted into Mother Nature. So when you around people, when you see one tree rooted right there, it's like it's beautiful. It stands out, doesn't it? When you see that one big tree just by itself, no other trees there, it stands out. It's beautiful, though. The thing about that is the weight that it carries, the roots, the weight that's on those roots, because of how they have to spread, because of the shade that they have to cover for itself now, for that one area, the animals in that ecosystem that feed on that one tree, because that one tree right there. versus when you're rooted in your purpose and you're rooted with so many other it's not about like-minded in the sense though, like-hearted. Like-hearted is where I'm at, because like-minded can get so how do we get to like-minded? And my purpose, my intention for this particular one is about leveling up, and how leveling up has looked to me in my career, how is leveling up looked to me in my life journey, how is leveling up looked to me in my process of thinking, doing, and being. And that's really thinking, seeing, doing, and being, right? Feeling, doing, seeing, and being. So many different eons, like the action, the verb of life that I'm living through, others are experiencing around us, that really allow us to see how we're leveling up. So real quick, when I look back at that tree rooted in its purpose in the forest with these other trees that are rooted in their purpose, I think about myself, and I think about us as a people. I think about us as a collective. I think about us as human beings when we're rooted in our life path, when we're rooted in knowing, I understand. When I say human design, I'm really talking about human design. If you're not familiar with the human design, check it out, because something that's really blown my mind and allowed me to understand more about myself and how we operate in our whole makeup of our literally a human design. You can just Google it, and there's a pretty cool human design apps out there too. Though when I think about that as us as a collective, really rooted together, really rooted as a collective together in our purpose, I think about how strong that is in the sense of everybody knows what the others is standing up for. And to me, that's about really leveling up, is about one phase of leveling up, because so many different phases of leveling up. Knowing what I stand for, and then knowing what everyone else around me stands for. Oh, okay. That's to me one of the major big checks of leveling up, because now your network, I know people say your network is your net worth, though. Your network really is this seed, this operation, this system, this focus of something that doesn't have to work hard for you, but work smart for you. Because it's a group of people that don't have to question who you are. It's a group of people that you don't have to question who they are. Sure, you're excited to see what they can do, though you don't have to really, it's not this doubt of, who really are they? Because they're standing, when what they're really rooted in. Sure, everyone has their own side agendas at time, though at the end of the day, at the end of the core, they're standing up for something that you can feel and resonate with. Whatever it is across the board. That's one thing about me too. It's not about, I want to stand up and I want to make sure everybody in the world stands up with the thing that I stand up for. No, it's really stepping in to realize, hey, can we all at least be true in how we stand? Can we all at least have some congruency, have some comprehension, have some parallel lines in how we stand? And can we stand over here? Can we stand there? Can these group of people stand together right here without it having to be a little shaky? I think you standing here, but you might actually move. Your roots might actually get up and move. Are your roots getting up and moving? So we'll talk about that at another time. Are your roots planted or moving? That's a little teaser for that. Leveling up. This leveling up conversation, thought expression. It's not. It's me and you. It's me and you talking right here. Only you. If you know that song, I don't know. It's out or it's not out. I don't know when you watch this, but check out my music too. But this is an expression of thought and flow between you and I. And what's really hit me is leveling up at this point in my life is really being able to look at every single thing. Not every single thing though. Look at the things that I don't want to do, and how can I take one thing that I don't want to do daily and transmute it into something that I want to do now. And it may sound something so basic, right? Though these are the things that really have me inside feeling like, okay, I can level up. And life is the universe, the matrix, the world, the feeling, mama nature. Everything this thing breathes around you, right? It's literally breathing. It's literally feeling us right now. It's watching us right now. It's watching and learning us right now. That's the thing about leveling up, is that it is around us. this air is a living thing. Like once we really sit in and really get comfortable understanding that this is living around us and it's learning our every move and it's running, like we think technology, we think that runs off algorithms. This net of data that comes through the membranes of how you operate your energy through this room, how you operate your energy through this space, is collecting a data and creating a memory wave of, okay, you do this to this, you do this when this, you do this and this. For me, everybody has a different memory wave pattern system. Everybody has a different memory wave, like vortex around them. Hopefully this is making sense. That vortex that's moving around you is going to pick up on whatever pace that you have internally within your own vortex. Because we have the constellation within us. We have the galaxy. We have the universe within us. It represents what we see outside. That's why everybody's reality really isn't. We don't really have a collective reality. We have is a collective. We have a collective experience of our own internal things that have come out to the world. Right? Like, prime example, yeah, we can all know one team exists, like one sports team exists. Now, whatever that sports team means to each individual's own reality, right? So whatever we go through is our own reality. With me having to learn that leveling up was part of the, no one is going to really comprehend your reality. So you have to breathe. That's why I say journal a day. Journal a day. That's why life is poetic. This series is important to me. Because as I'm going through these doors, as I'm walking through these tunnels, as I'm jumping off the ledge at times, as I'm diving in the seas and really swimming, it has me in a space where, okay, no one's going to understand the weight that you're carrying. Though, if I can get comfortable one bit of that weight, if I can get comfortable and see, okay, let me level up to the person, whoever they see. Let me level up and be that person for myself first, obviously. Though, let me level up. And level up really means let me handle my business. Let me be responsible for the things that I got to take care of. Because that's really, as you get older, it's really about. It's about being responsible with the life that you've created. And it's so key, it's so important. And what I'm learning now is the life that I create today affects tomorrow. Tomorrow affects the next day, you know. It really is that. It's really me looking at every day and saying, wow, how much of today wouldn't exist if it wasn't for tomorrow? And that's the leveling up, because you realize with today, even when you may be in a rush, this going on, or you may just be chilling like, okay, I ain't got nothing to do. Though something today is going to impact the existence of tomorrow. Outside of you just eating a meal, outside of just your internal nourishment, which that is key too. Which that is something we look at. You know, I look at for myself, okay, how is my nourishment for today going to affect tomorrow? And it does play out. So for me, leveling up is really taking every single day and looking at that day and seeing how that writes the script for tomorrow. How does this write the script for my moment today that's going to then create this brick and this foundation of this building, this pyramid, going up, the skyscraper, going up and up and up and up to the where I'm leveling up. And it's so poetic, so many different ways to understand it, so many ways to grasp this, to see this through. One of the biggest things for me is, can I be honest with myself? And that's one of the things of leveling up too. Can I be honest with myself? I really don't like doing this right here. Whatever this one thing is, I don't really like, but it's not about I don't like to do it. It's more, it makes me feel anxious, or I drag it. Why do I drag it? Why do I drag wanting to get on the phone and call a customer, call a client, just go ahead and knock it out the way, right? Do you have some kind of trauma behind it? Do you not feel like hearing somebody's voice? Do you not feel like hearing this kind of tone of energy? Are you projecting already? Or imagining the level up version you become by going ahead and doing it? That was the past. Whatever happened in the past was the past. So the level up is to understand that now it's my imagination getting to work. Not my expectation of my stubbornness or my resistance to the flow of my imagination. Though understanding who I can be through my own imagination, not anything external first. Who can I be through my imagination, right? It's like recording this series. Every time I'm like, all right, I'll get it later. I'll record it later. No, that's why I say this is my discipline. This is my discipline because there's a sense of responsibility that I feel with my voice. There's a sense of responsibility I feel with my journey and being able to express the different knowings that I'll come into, the different just, it's a cliche thing, but keys. Because the keys to the doors of myself, the keys to the doors of the awareness that you see to life. And if you go through this door, if you're in a room and you just so happen to lift the mat up because you stepped on it and you said, this isn't balanced, this isn't flat all the way, something's under it. You lift that mat up, you see it's a key. Oh, you said, wow, there's a key. You happen to look up, you see this little something poking out in the wall. You're like, that doesn't look right. You go to it, it's a door. You found the key. You found a hidden door. No one else in the room saw this. You know escape room if you've done it before. You use that key, open up a door. Now you're going to go through that door. Everyone else is in the room. And you're just going to go in and lock it and say, I found my way out this room. Right? Or are you going to open up that door and say, hey, I found this door over here. You all can come through it. Or I can let you know what's in it. Someone can walk with me. It's on y'all. Because at the end of the day, it is on everybody else's own discernment of how they have to move through the doors of their life. Though for me, I'm going to go through this door. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go through it. And I don't mind letting you know what I found out. I don't mind. I don't mind sharing, hey, this is what it is. But you got to experience it for yourself now. I can't just bring it all back. You got to come and experience for yourself. Or you have to meet me where I'm at now. And that's the other thing about leveling up. They're going to be the people, you can't just always bring the information, bring the gold of knowledge to the people. People have to level up and meet you where you are too, from where they are. Like that's just part of the game. That is part of life. That is part of, I know, game. People feel triggered by all types of words these days, but that's part of the process of being able to do enough work to see, okay, how does that? Let me get to it. So, because certain knowledge you have to get up to, you have to level up yourself to even understand where somebody's talking from because of a certain discipline within self. You know, when I talk about vibration within self and say, there's nobody you have an issue with. There's no one you have an issue with. That's another form of leveling up because you understand that person's reality is only a reflection of who they are inside. While yours is the imagination of who you decide to be. So if you got an issue with somebody, you're deciding in your imagination that, hey, okay, I got to be this person now. And it's cool. Some people you can have an issue with. Though in that moment, you can also be like, you're not worth my capacity right now as well. Because I don't even have the I don't even imagine you in my realm. I don't even imagine you here. I don't even want to imagine your character, your energy existing. Now that's a different type of leveling up and discipline. Because when you don't even want to imagine somebody there, poof, we're on to more things that are probably more concerning, more valuable to your own mental capacity. And that's what life is about in the phases that I'm learning of the leveling up process, that in the leveling up of mind, mental, when it comes to so many different levels up, because when it comes to spirit, and when it comes to inspiration of life, that leveling up is really about the inspiration of life, the empowerment of life. What in this moment is saying, hey, go. This exists, so go. I got a camera, go. Got a studio, go. Go to work. You have this moment, you have this opportunity. It's not just there for you to be there for you. It's there for you because it's inspired who you are. You don't just have things. You don't just buy things. Things are allowed into your presence of existence because you have something. I have something that is inspired. The energy, remember, it is around us. It's feeling us. It's learning us. So it's inspired too to see how you can do behind certain things. We're awarded so many things in life. Now understand that it is awarding us. You could say God, you could say whoever you may. I'm going to say it because it's feeling us. She is feeling us. He is feeling us. However you want to look at it. Though I'm going to say it is alive. And it's feeling us. And it wants to constantly see how we can level up. So look at what you have. Look at what you are creating. Look at who you're becoming, who you're being, and be blessed in that and be grateful in that, and look around you too and see what is around you. See who is around you. See what it has blessed you with around you. Whether they get on your nerves or not. Think about that too. The people that may get on your nerve. What did it put around you to show that, hey, when is it going to tap in here how you see the situation? When is it going to tap in here how you should handle yourself towards the situation? When is it going to tap in here on how, oh, not where I'm supposed to be anyway. And I needed that to show me. I needed a real physical thing, a 3D thing to show me where I was supposed to be. And that's leveling up, because it's being able to take the gratitude in the physical to recognize what's happening in the spiritual, to recognize what's happening in the mental, the astral layers. Because it's the physical that's like, boom, we're here now. Though there's so much building up towards that. Can we truly be able to grasp the leveling up that is required inside? And sometimes we need that physical to help us to, that way we can see, hey, all right, I need to level up like this too. But can we grasp it all together? And that's part of my journey. I'm sharing that so it may be useful on your journey too. Because for me, leveling up at this point is about being able to really see the moments that are present for me and see how can I coexist with that moment. How can I co-collaborate with that moment? How can I co-collaborate, coexist, co-love, everything. Co-create. That's the word I was looking for. How can I co-create? So with the moments, how can I coexist, co-collaborate, and co-create with it rather than resisting it? How can I imagine it to be the level up version already, rather than just seeing it as, dang, it's just that right now. No, it's that of my imagination, that of my knowing of where I'm taking it, what I'm being with it, right? So be one with yourself, be one with the universe, be one with your surroundings, your environment, and be one with your grace of your heart.